Now, if you're into gaming like me, you know all about this Faze drama going on. And you know that Faze as a whole is basically. So, I mean, it wasn't really unexpected, to say the least, you know, being ran by a 30-something-year-old man-child like Faze Bankz. But, hey, we enjoyed the time, and they got some good content out of it. I know, back in the good old days when it was at its peak, it was lit. I remember COVID. Oh, man, all I was watching was Rage, a little bit of Rugs. No, it was mostly Rage, actually. Rage carried Faze for me, honestly. If it wasn't for Rage, I don't think I would have been into Faze as much as I was. For today's video, however, we're going to be diving into Faze Bankz and why this YouTuber that I actually like to watch has been defending him this whole time, and why he feels like he is done defending him now. I don't know how you could have been defending his antics this whole time, but I'm glad you came to a sense of clarity. Let's see why.
Decided to bring in the new year with the old him and go through a couple of different moments in his history that the new Faze guys are not too happy with.
So I made my first YouTube video in 2008. Faze Clan was founded in 2010. I dropped out of college to pursue a career in social media in 2011. I moved into a house in New York City. With Rain, these guys were not in New York City. They were in New York State. With Rain, Adapt, Apex, Temper, Tico, Blaze in 2014. The first ever, quote, content house.
I'm pretty sure the first ever content house was Jersey Shore.
I don't think the TSM house preceded this. The TSM house was in like 2011 or 2012. So that's the thing. Started dating Alyssa in 2017. Moved the Nelk Boys and Steve Will Do It to LA, and
He's out here acting like he started up everybody, like he was the blueprint. The fuck?
I think he's like honestly, it does. When you think of Faze Bankz, you do think
like, look at this motherfucker. Really? Have you heard him speak? Now, not to take away from his personality and his people skills, right? He's very sociable, right? It's how he gained all his following, and that's how he made all these connections in the business realm, right? But his vocabulary, his demeanor, his whole caricature as a whole, I don't know how a lot of these people didn't see these red flags.
Met, recruited, and took over Fortnite with Tfue in 2019. Let's not talk about the 85%. Remember Tfue? Tfue took over, and then he left Faze very, very soon after. Moved Aiden Ross to LA and lived with him in 20.
That was pretty sketchy too. That was another red flag. Him and Tfue were doing a thing, and they were like clicked up for a little bit, and then as soon as he moved in, Banks moves in to the company, Tfue's off this. It is sketchy.
2021. I'm not gonna lie, when he brought Aiden Ross in, Aiden Ross had such crazy levels of motion that it was a no-brainer. It was.
Aiden Ross was a degenerate fuck that kids gravitated to, obviously, because he was an unfiltered goof. And then he used traction from black culture to get those wheels turning.
Isn't like, yo, you know, I just took this Aiden Ross guy out of nowhere. Nah, Aiden, and they had him wearing the Faze chain and everything too. Relaunched the brand with 4 kids most people hadn't really ever heard of, and a vision of a streaming house in 2024. This is true. People hadn't really heard of them. You're not gonna say, like, Aiden Ross, when he came to that house, he was bigger than everybody in Faze, in the new Faze, except maybe Your Rage, of course. When he put them
Your
together,
Rage
won Streaming Org of the Year that same year. Won it again in 2025. The one thing each and every one of these marquee moments, and actually Blackboy Max, when he joined Faze, was probably one of the guys that, wait, hold on, he's talking about 4 kids most people hadn't heard of. We've got Lacey, we've got Ron, the other guy, Adapt, people obviously had heard of. We've got, no way he put Blackboy Max in the 4 kids most people hadn't heard of. Blackboy Max was damn near as big as Aiden Ross when he first got to LA.
Before Blackboy Max got to Faze, I was seeing hella clips of this guy. hell, and it was just so random. I'm like, where the hell did this light skinned mother come from? And it would just be like, blind date clips, or random like funny clips of him collabing with some streamer. But like, he just started to blow up before he even announced that he was in Faze. So to say that you put him on would be crazy as hell. I remember Adapt from gaming days, because back when I used to surf through streamers to watch, Adapt was one of those guys I used to just click on when one of my other streamers weren't on. So he definitely boosted that a little bit,
maybe even bigger. No, Blackboy Max
a lot of bit
bigger than that when he first joined with these guys. So if he's talking about Blackboy Max as one of the four, that's nah buddy.
They all individually have their own audiences. Like, they all individually did. Like, Lacey's audience is not the same as Adapt's, and when Adapt's people go into Lacey's chat, Lacey knows, and when Lacey's people go into Adapt's chat, same with everybody knows their community.
It again in 2025. The one thing each and every one of these marquee moments in my life and career shares, that I was the first to believe they were possible.
The Nelk Boys and Steve Will Do It was definitely popping before they came to LA. That's for sure.
Now, in 2014, wasn't there also a content house? I think it was Our Generation.
Steve Will Do It is one of the kings of YouTube for a reason. Not that I formally, call him that, but like, in the YouTube world, he's respected for a reason.
But regardless, I'll give him full credit for like the content house thing. Pursuing a career in social media, he was definitely early on that, for sure, certainly. And then the Clout House in LA, he got a little bit of pushback for that, because you got to keep in mind, they were content house, gaming, Call of Duty, and then they move into a Clout House, and it's like Rice Gum and these other guys, like, what's going on here? Like, this became even more of a content house, because this was just, people weren't even really gaming like that. Like Rice Gum, yeah, he got on streaming on MLG and stuff like that, but he wasn't known as a gamer. He was more so like lifestyle content. But having those four guys put together in one roof that seemed like they wouldn't get along was for sure a good move. I think that's one of the most impressive moves I had seen from Bankz. And
I want to say it was a good move, strategic, like business wise, strategically, if you're setting up like a reality TV show type thing, that combination, it makes sense. I will say though, that this transition into the forcing of more content house content than the gaming, the forcing of the content house stuff kind of pushed back gaming a bit, in a sense, where people were coming on more to watch IRL streams and content houses and things like that, and gaming was a more real community. We all shared this common interest, and we're all interested in this thing, and we're coming together and enjoying this thing together. And I feel like IRL streaming just turns into get these clippable moments, and everybody's being judged on, you're being judged during gaming too, but you're more being judged on your skill of the game. You're not being judged on things in your real life, and people aren't deep diving into your shit and twisting things, and all these allegations coming up, and it just opened the gates to more drama, I feel, and it took away from that home cozy community feel that gaming had. You know what I'm saying? That gaming streaming is still a thing, it's still a huge thing, but as big as it was before IRL became huge, nah. As big as it was back in COVID, nah.
And them winning that Org of the Year twice in a row. And that everyone called me crazy at the start of each one, but by the end, they all saw what I saw. And now here I am. The year is 2026, and everyone's asking me what's next. I don't know if everyone's asking what's next. What I can tell you here and now is that my best years are ahead of me. I like this mentality, and I can't effing wait to show you. Stay tuned. I'm not going anywhere. This is great. I'm always interested in what Bankz is doing next. This guy is...
Wait a minute now. See, Yasin, this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. See, I'm done defending Faze Bankz. Okay, all right. I was just making sure that we're locked into the same video. You know what I'm saying? We're not. It wasn't. gonna glaze Bankz this video. You know, I was just making sure that we're staying on key, on topic here.
At the forefront, we laugh at it. I also think he should add the contributions that FaZe Clan made to music artists like Logic or even Ian Dior. Like, he put Ian Dior in a lot of rooms with a lot of people early on in the game. But the reactions by
Ian Dior is weird,
to say the least. Now, Jason Deween and Lacey, they were together. Lacey really reacted in this clip. I'm gonna play you guys that right now.
Did you hear the news? Before we joined FaZe, nobody knew who we were.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Come on, bro. Why he ain't outplaying us, man? You had that one McDonald's clip, bro.
I was averaging like 8K before I joined FaZe.
Me too.
Nobody knew though. Nobody knew.
You know who tried to do that? Daquan and Hamlin's, when they got that bread from NRG, when they made that Thume house, and they tried to put together a bunch of different people who had no views. I think these people were averaging less than 100, and they tried to make that work. That was one of the biggest flops in content group history, and I
feel like it's something that you can do. You can definitely achieve that, but it's just the way you go about it. When he did the Thume house, he didn't do a vetting process to where, like, you know, at least gauge their personalities before we put them on camera, so that, you know, you can mix and match and at least make it interesting. Just literally picked up some random dudes that were streaming that had no viewers and put them in a house.
Fair here. Some people are gonna say, like, oh nah, they had internet issues and that's why they didn't stream. I don't think so, man.
Internet issues after all that money from NRG? Come on.
There's just no way. I mean, maybe Starlink wasn't as good back then, but you're not going to tell me that these guys did content for like a week and a half and then they just dipped. I think they just ran off with the bag on NRG, and that's what happened in that situation. But Ronaldo would respond as well.
2021, all the beginnings of their careers. Got sober at the end of 2022. Lost my father and brother. Relaunched the brand with 4 streamers most people really hadn't heard of. 1 streaming org of the year. 1 it again 2025. Wait, why is he calling me a random? Is he calling me this before I joined FaZe? Listen, man, all I know is never ever say you did something for other people, bro. If that's truly what you live by, then that's something wrong with you. Listen, if you did something for other people, you should just have that in your body. You shouldn't try to flex that. You know what I'm saying? I help people all the time, mentally, physically, emotionally, but I don't rub that in people's faces. Like, that's like a weird thing to do. If you're a good person, good people don't just flex that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Am I wrong?
No, you're right, brother. You're right.
Don't just gride me. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're a good person, you don't rub that into people's faces.
The biggest joke would be if he said Ron was somebody that people hadn't really heard of. Now, Ronaldo right now, he is the biggest out of that whole crew. Like, this guy's he's killing it right now. This guy is doing well. The numbers are there. How much is botted? Really, if everybody's botting and you're killing it, then you're killing it. The guy's chat is flying.
Nobody ever really heard of? We launched a brand with 4 kids nobody really ever heard of, and Vision Stream House.
Nobody really heard of. Like, what? Huh? That's literally saying you helped them. You're discrediting the work that they had done before that, the reason why you even noticed to pick them up in the first place, and then saying that you helped them. You helped all these people. You brought Nelk and the boys to LA. It is weirdo activity. If you genuinely were just helping these people, you don't need to mention it. If you genuinely did all these things and you helped all these people would speak it for you.
I don't want to deal with this yet, but I would say this, bro. Nah, bro, Bankz made. Dude, Bankz didn't know who the I was going into the new phase. It was Ray in Rage in Kason.
This has to be the funniest one because I had no idea who Jason Deween was.
Me either, bro, until he came into FaZe. I'm not even gonna hold you. If he had put this guy in the lineup of the 4, maybe he is in the lineup of the 4, he'd be the only one that makes sense because he's the only one we didn't know. But even still, your Rage and them picked him up because he had his own motion. There's no way your Rage is just picking up some random dude.
Well, can you tell us how you guys were put together then? Who convinced Bankz to let Jason in.
Rage was fundamental in a lot of people coming into Faze. He will tell, if you haven't seen his video, you can go on his page and he'll tell you himself.
Are you saying it was Rage and Kason that convinced Bankz
And Kason
to add Jason into the group? But with Bankz, this just looks like just show people what's the next move, and it has to be in the content space. Like, we know Bankz is a huge fan.
Why do we give a shit about what the next move is? He has so much allegation stacked against him. The fuck do you mean what his next move is, brother? Brother, he's a pred. It's out there, bro. It's not even like inconclusive, bro. What are we talking about? He's a semi-racist out here calling Black Boy the N-word and all types of goofy shit. Hassan, Yasin, listen. I fuck with you, but I need you to screw it on. Get his meat up out of there.
You know what Bankz should also take credit for is the proliferation of gambling on streaming as well. Because those early deals that he took with Aiden Ross when they would go to Mexico, you should take credit for that too, Bankz, to be honest. I mean,
glazing. So should he take responsibility, or are we saying that he should hold that as an achievement for helping to push gambling to kids?
That's probably not something he wants to throw on. I don't think he feels. Yeah, let's talk about the CSGO gambling thing as well. I'm not saying that's bad of him or accuse him of anything, but those were some pioneering moves. You believed in those before a lot of other people did, for sure.
Some pioneering moves is crazy work. I mean, okay, if we're talking about it from a business standpoint or whatever, I get it.
It's not, this post wasn't necessary unless he was announcing the next thing, and he hasn't done that yet. When we don't know what the next thing is, and
even if there is a next thing, the post is unnecessary. The post is unnecessary altogether because we don't give a shit, because he is going to fuck up again. Something else is going to happen. We put him back in the spotlight, we give him more money and shit like that, and have him running around again. Bankz is gonna fucking fuck up again.
Able to leverage because the most recent thing that he had is you had investors with tens of millions, you had people that had a ton of views, and you couldn't make it work. So what else can you do? And I think that's a difficult question that he's gonna have to answer. Bankz should also take a lot of credit for the vlog era.
And I say semi-racist because, yes, he was calling Black Boy the N-word and all that. I feel, though, it wasn't necessarily racially motivated in the sense that he was saying it to demean him, but I feel as though he has had a pass for a long. He's hung around people and he's gotten a pass, and nobody has checked him for a long time. So now it's boiled over into this where he feels comfortable saying it in certain spaces and things, and doesn't understand why people are like, "What the fuck are you doing, brother?"
Not take credit for starting it, but he was one of the top guys in vlogging. I think he vlogged for a year straight, which is grueling. I don't know how people were able to do that. So yeah, I just wanted to give him credit there for sure.
Give him credit. Why are we glazing this motherfucker? So the video about why I'm not defending him is more a video of why I'm anticipating his next move. Oh, my bad, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comment section, man. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.